What's happening, everyone? My name is Alex and welcome back. So today is the coldest day that we've had this winter so far. It's currently minus 12 degrees. I'm not sure if you can actually see the screen, but it's definitely cold. So I figured today is going to be the perfect day to find out the real range of the Tesla Model 3 in the cold, obviously, because it is cold. Now the car is currently at, let's see here, 70%. Once again, I'm not sure if you can actually see that on the phone. And I haven't charged the car in about 3 days. So we'll have to see how the car does. There was no preheating, and as you can see, the car is outside, so pretty cold. So I guess I'm gonna take the camera in the car. We'll set up the camera in the car. I have another camera that will record the screen, and we'll see the real range of the Tesla Model 3 in the cold. So let me go in the car because it is a bit cold. Alright, so I am in the car, and as I said, I set up another camera so you can see the screen. So on the screen here we can see that we are at 70%. We have almost no regen and somewhat limited acceleration, obviously because the battery pack is cold. And right here you can see the temperature that the car is registering, so minus 7 degrees. However, my phone is actually registering minus 12, so I'm not sure which one is right. So I've reset this here. I made a new one, and I'll basically take you with me throughout the day. First stop will be at the gym. I'm gonna leave the car parked at the gym there for about, I don't know, an hour. And for that hour, I'm also gonna have the Sentry mode turned on, because I wanna see how much power we'll actually lose by just leaving the car in a parking lot. Now, of course, there are a million ways of doing this. Some people can preheat the car before they get into it in the morning, but that doesn't work for everyone. Sometimes you have to leave the car outside for a night or so. So I really wanna see how the range is in the cold. Now, this is the all-wheel drive performance, and this car is rated to get 500 kilometers on a charge. And that means that for every 10%, we should be able to get 50 kilometers. So we'll see how far I get today. I have a few trips planned, but basically every 10% that we lose, we should be getting about 50 kilometers. And if we don't, we are gonna do an average and see the actual range of this car in the cold, because a lot of people are asking about the range in the cold. Now, I'm not gonna record every trip that I take. I'll basically record when I get somewhere and before I start moving again, so I show you how much power we lost and stuff like that. So I'm gonna head to the gym. We'll see if the regen improves till I get there, but I highly doubt, because the gym is literally 3 minutes that way. So I'm gonna turn on the heat in the car because it is fairly cold. So this will make things a bit better, and will defrost the windows a bit. So I'll talk to you again when I get to the gym. Alright, so as I told you, the gym is extremely close. It's only 0.5 kilometers away, so half a kilometer away. The power consumption is pretty high, obviously, because I'm using the heat in the car. I have the heat set to 19, so I had the heat for the 3 minutes that we're driving set to 19. So now I'm gonna set up the Sentry mode. I'll turn it on. We'll leave it on till I'm done at the gym. So I guess I'll see you in about an hour so you can see how much power we lost to the Sentry mode on and in this cold. So you can probably see here that the car is registering minus 7 degrees at this time, and it is 9:19 in the morning. So I'll see you in a bit. Alright, and I am back in the car after about 55 minutes, I'm gonna say. So if we look here, we still have 69% battery, even though the Sentry mode was on for about an hour. If I press on the brake, we can see that we still have no regen and somewhat limited acceleration, and the car is registering minus 7 degrees Celsius. Now, I did turn on the heat in the car about 4 minutes ago. It took me a bit to get the cameras set up, but it wasn't a long time. Our next trip is gonna be somewhat longer. I'm gonna be driving for about 20 minutes. I'm gonna say I'm going to visit my parents, and once again I'll leave the car there for a bit, but after that we're gonna do a somewhat longer trip. and the following trip is gonna be done only in town basically. So I'm only gonna drive with like 80 kilometers an hour max, and of course I'll write on the screen what that means in miles. So let's head there, and I'll talk to you when I get there so you can see how much battery we used, and to see if the car warmed up any more than it is now. And just in case you're wondering, my phone is still showing minus 10 degrees, even though the car is showing minus 7. All right, so let's head there, and I'll talk to you when I get there. All right, so we made it to our next destination. So I drove for about 20 minutes, I'm gonna say about 20 minutes, and I've done 16.4 kilometers. That's about 10 miles. And we are currently at 63%. Now the region got a bit better, but definitely far from the best, and we still have very limited power, but that's normal because the battery pack is pretty cold. For this drive, the maximum speed was about 80 kilometers an hour for a little bit, and I also had the heat set to 19 degrees in the car, because otherwise it would be too cold, obviously. So I'm gonna leave the car parked here for maybe 25-30 minutes. I'm also gonna leave Sentry mode on, and then I'll get back and we'll do another trip, and that for our next trip we're gonna go on the highway for a bit, so we can drive a bit faster. Hopefully we can get the battery a bit warmer by doing that. So I'll see you in a bit when I get back in the car. Alright, so after about 20 minutes or so I am back in the car, and we currently have 63% battery. Of course, in 20 minutes the car had a chance to cool down a bit. So let me press the brake. We'll see the region braking, which is very limited, and limited acceleration still. So for our next trip, I'm gonna drive on the highway for about, I don't know, 15-20 kilometers. That's about 10-15 miles, something like that. So we'll see how much battery we have when we get there. I also forgot to mention that even though this is the all-wheel drive performance, I'm currently using 19-inch wheels with the winter tires, of course. So I don't have the 20-inch wheels that come on the car. So it should be a bit better for power consumption with the 19-inch wheels, so a bit more efficient. So I guess I'll talk to you when I get to the next destination. And I am back. So we drove for about 25 minutes and we did about 28.3 kilometers, and it's still minus 8 degrees outside. Now I did have to turn up the heat a bit. I set the heat in the car to 20 degrees because it was getting a bit cold. And as you can probably see, we are at 54%. So we basically lost about 16% since this morning, basically. So we've done, for today, we've done 45 kilometers and we lost about 16%. So we'll have to see how much we lose by the time we get home. So driving home, it's a 35-minute drive, I'm assuming. So I guess I'll stop the cameras now and I'll start recording again when I get back home, so I can show you exactly how much power we used and stuff like that. So that's about it. I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, and we are back from our last drive. So since I talked to you last time, we've done 51.2 kilometers and it took about 52 minutes. Now the battery is at 41%, but to make it easier to calculate, we'll just say that the battery pack is at 40%. Alright, since this morning we've done a total of 96.4 kilometers and we used 20 kilowatts. As I said earlier, the car is rated to get 500 kilometers on one charge, and that gives us 50 kilometers for every single 10% of the battery, basically. So like this, we used 30% of the battery and we've done 96.4 kilometers. That means that we lost, so let's divide 96 to 3, so that's about 32. So instead of getting 50 kilometers per each 10%, we've done 32 kilometers for each 10%. So that means that we lost about 17 kilometers for each 10%. So let's see the percentage. Give me a second here. So we basically lost 35% of the rated range of this vehicle. So let's say that I would have had the battery pack to 100% and then I would have drove the whole day. Out of 100%, I would have probably been able to get about 325 kilometers. So the rest of it would be lost due to the cold weather, because the battery isn't as efficient when it's cold, because we are using the heat in the car and so on. So if you live somewhere where it's cold and you're not preheating the car before, because you could preheat the car before and you don't lose as much, you're basically going to lose somewhere about 35%. With a long range all-wheel drive, you'd get a bit more range because you have smaller tires as well. And with this one we have 19-inch wheels. So yeah, in the cold you're going to lose about 35% of the rated range for the Tesla Model 3. Hopefully this video was useful, because I did see this question many times under a lot of videos. So hopefully this answers that question. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did like it, don't forget to press that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Just in case you're wondering, we're currently at -5 degrees Celsius, and yeah, that's about it. And we're still at 41%. So maybe about 33% loss instead of 35. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.